For your business, attitude can determine altitude, or at least how quickly you can expand. Joining us with advice on how the word yes can expand your business, Philip Nolman, author of Just Say Yes, one of 3 books he has to encourage growth and encourage entrepreneurial ventures. How are you tonight?
Fine, thank you.
Good to have you here.
Pleasure to be here.
Now, not only do you write books, but you consult with businesses and you go and speak to businesses and their employees about getting fired up.
That's correct.
Now, what are you talking about when you say just say yes?
Well, typically what Just Say Yes implies is a philosophy of total inclusion for the customer. That is, whatever the customer's problems are,
say yes.
The business is in the business of saying yes, we're going to solve those problems. We're going to delight you.
Now, one of your contentions right now about American business is that an awful lot of corporations and business people are not listening to their customer. I mean, they're indifferent.
That's right. The Society for Quality Control did a recent survey, and 68% of the respondents indicated that they would leave a business relationship because of an attitude of indifference on the part of an employee. It's a critical issue that they're not addressing as business owners.
Now, it's interesting because the language that consultants often use, or teachers use, let's say, is very important to get through to people and make them understand and shift their thinking. Now, one of the things you talk about is customer recognition. What do you mean exactly by that?
Well, Gallup did a poll about 2 years ago and asked people what is the single most critical issue for you in determining how loyal you'll stay with a business. And the majority said recognition. I want to be recognized by the businesses I do business with, from the bank to the auto dealer to the online service, etc.
It's so funny because our world is getting so anonymous.
That's right.
And so technified. You get voicemail.
That's
in
right.
New York City, for heaven's sakes, the checkout people never even look at you.
Exactly.
So it is important. It's important for employees as well as for customers.
It's critical.
Moving along. You also point out that an awful lot of businesses right now dealing with their customers are employing minors, minimum wage people. We are at the mercy of minors.
Yes, we are. And it's become a very difficult problem for business owners. They're looking to keep costs low, but they, by virtue of that issue, have to hire minimum wage employees who are not trained because the dollars aren't put into training.
So you've got to spend money on training.
You've got to spend money on motivating, training, and exciting people to serve.
And again, that comes down to recognizing the employee so they, in fact, feel better about themselves, their jobs, their future, and their customers.
Exactly, motivating them.
That's not easy, though, is it?
No, and it's not inexpensive, but it is, as I said, probably the most critical issue facing the business owner today.
All right, this next subject we can talk about, we'll put under the headline of Have a Nice Day. Now, does this fit into this business of the people interacting with your customer are simply indifferent or ready to dismiss people with something as simple or as annoying as Have a Nice Day?
You mean, is the phrase enough?
No, is the phrase a problem? Is it part of the problem?
Well, I think the phrase is part of the problem, because what happens is, having said that, the employee feels that they've lived up to their obligation. And that is simply not the case. Have a nice day done in a different tone, in a monotone typically, does not satisfy or delight the customer to any degree.
The other thing I've read recently is about how every time someone speaks, particularly in business, but personal affairs, is to speak with true intention.
Right. To say what you mean, and to speak with sincerity, and to use your body language and even physical touch in communicating. There's nothing wrong with, you know, touching the shoulder of someone when you're about to sell them a $40,000 automobile.
Philip Nolman, who is an inspirational speaker and author, and one book is Just Say Yes. Thanks very much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Take care. Coming up tomorrow, everyone.